I'm Nicole, and welcome to my bedroom.
And my name is Silke. I am your host, and this is How Was It? Podcast about sex and sexualities. Today we're gonna talk about the expectations of sex and talking about cultural differences. Let's get into bed. Thank you, Nicole, for having me in your room.
Thank you for being here.
And tell me something about yourself.
Okay.
Who are you? What are your pronouns? Where are you from?
Hi, I'm Nicole, she, her. I'm 21 years old, and I'm from Zimbabwe, and I identify as straight.
So boring.
I know. Kill me. Sorry, guys.
No kidding. You are the first straight person on the podcast, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. It's not. It's. You can tell it's not a choice. Trust me.
So we know each other from school, but I don't really know much about you. So there's still a lot to talk about. So you told me you're from Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
What are you doing in the Netherlands, specifically Leeuwarden?
I ask myself the same question all the time.
It's snowing outside right now. What are you
Literally.
doing here?
So I came here for my studies, so a creative business student. Yeah, I guess Leeuwarden just happened to be the place, my uni that was at and that I liked. So I decided, let's come. Also, I really always wanted to be far from home. So I was like, I think, oceans apart is very far, 18-hour flight. That's a long
Far
time.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Let me come here and, try, explore and, be in a new environment. So that's why I'm here.
Are you regretting it, or are you happy with this choice of the Netherlands?
I think I'm happy with it. Before I was like, yeah, I want to be far, but I didn't realize how much of you still need your community because I've known Zim for 19 years of my life, and then I just come here and I'm expecting to just blend in, and which was a bit difficult. So I think that I do love my decision in terms that I still have friends from back home. I have things that remind me of back home, so I'm not completely away and alone. So I think that's one thing I'm like, okay, that makes the decision easier or better. And the things I've learned, and I think also the stuff I've been able to accomplish here, I probably wouldn't be able to do home, especially doing a creative degree. So yeah, I made a good decision, I think.
Are you gonna stay here after you finished?
See, I don't want to, but then sometimes I see the pros in it, but I'm like, I don't know. So maybe after my 4th year.
Yeah, I mean, it's still far.
Yeah. But I feel like for me, I make my decisions 2 years in advance.
Oh, wow.
In first year, I already knew what my minors were going to be.
I so do not relate.
Yeah.
That's
No,
good,
I
though.
think it's also being because I'm non-EU, I always have to kind of make a plan for the future because I'm here, but it's very temporary. So if I'm staying here, I need to make sure I get a job and be able to get a permit so that I can live here. So yeah, I think that's why usually planning is because I know that I don't have the privilege of being here for longer if I don't have a plan.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, yeah, different worlds from living in the Netherlands and just doing whatever.
Yeah.
So you said that community, you need that, and you had that in Zimbabwe. Do you feel like you have a community here in the Netherlands?
Yes. Obviously I also had to make my own community, but I think because some of my friends are scattered all over the Netherlands and I went to high school with them. It was very easier to find my footing because I always had people I could ask for help. And like, it's also nice that I have people from back home even studying here. Because sometimes, as much as I love speaking in English, sometimes it's so nice to say a joke in my native language and people understand it and I don't have to explain it because it's no longer funny when you translate it. So I think, yeah, I do have a community here and I like it.
How come there are so many people from Zimbabwe in the Netherlands and around here?
Well, I mean, our education, for one, like our tertiary education, like universities and stuff, is not like the best or properly funded. Because I think if you want to study back home, it's either law or doctor or accounting. So, like,
Okay.
you know, my degree, like, yes, they still have like schools that offer programs like this, but then I think the fact that we don't really have all the equipment or anything, like some of like our studios at school are even like have more better equipment than like our like broadcasting center, the country's like national broadcasting center. So I mean, yeah, so I think that's why also I guess people want to see the world.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's always nice to have like an internationally recognized degree as well. So I think when you go overseas, you get like the advantage of doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you said that you are straight. Have you ever questioned your sexuality?
I don't think so, but I think that's probably because of like Western media and being so much influenced by learning things that I didn't even have time to question because you learn, oh, this is what like questioning means or how it is. So like I probably didn't have time to even think, oh, this, because I'd already known when you question, you do this or stuff. So I feel like I haven't. But then I don't know, maybe it depends because like my questioning is not, oh, I think am I, it's more like, why don't I? Rather than, oh, is this like, am I, bisexual or like a lesbian? It's more like, why do I like men? Because you're men. Sorry. So I don't think I've had time to actually like question.
Interesting. What do you mean with Western media and not have
like in terms of like you learn about these concepts like you learn sexualities and you learn sexualities as well as certain terms like questioning or like how you refer to people. So like by learning that you already know all of this is there. So I don't think I ever had a moment that I can define as questioning based off of like how I've seen what people mean when they talk about questioning. So maybe it happened, but I can't define it as questioning because of like the way I've seen like how mainstream like defines what questioning is.
Okay, yeah. And so you didn't connect with any labels that you heard about.
Yeah.
And so you feel
I mean, there's a part where I really thought, actually maybe I have, because there's a time I thought I was like asexual because I was like, I don't vibe with people on that level. Like, I can like you as in you're cool, you're a homie, but like to actually be more like just physically attracted to you, it's always lacking. So I was like, maybe that's what's happening. So I don't know. So probably yes, I have questioned.
And
at some point.
what's the result of those questions? Or you still have questions and you don't know if you're asexual, or you're like, now I'm not. Like, did you figure it out?
No. I was probably like, okay, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think I didn't really have a difficulty in like thinking, oh, whatever, but that's probably because I didn't really think of it as a like label or a bad thing. So I didn't think, oh, okay, like I need to figure it out. Like I'm just like, if that's what it is, then that's what it is. If it's not, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have time to figure it out as well.
True, as well. And I'm like, on whose timeline am I doing this on? So if, I don't know, 20 years, I'm like, okay, this is me. Then I'm like, great. If it's tomorrow, great. But I'm really never like losing sleep from it because I don't think it should be that like significant that like, you know, it alters your life. It should be just, okay, if this is you, then this is you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think also for asexuality, I remember before I ever had sex, or masturbated or anything, like I wasn't thinking about sex, and so all my friends who were thinking about sex were like, are you asexual? You know, and I think it's just I think asexuality might be really difficult to find out if you are, because if you haven't had sex yet, you know, you don't know if you are. But like yeah. I remember also like, am I? And then now it's like, oh, I'm absolutely not.
It's like, never mind.
Yeah. But everyone has their own timeline of figuring things out. And I think that goes actually the same with all labels, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I've figured out all my labels much, like, very late in my life, I would say. But
how old are you?
I'm 24.
That's not late.
I could have figured it out much earlier.
True,
I was open for it, but I wasn't.
Yeah, but I think also maybe not having that like space to like just talk about these things and know that like it's okay to have them. For example, I don't know. I mean, I'm privileged enough to know like about certain about sexualities and like different labels. But I feel like if you're in a place, not you though, but I'm just saying in general, I feel like if you're in a place where like it's not celebrated or it's not spoken about, then it will probably take you time, because this is not everyday lingo. I think now, later in like the 2000s, it's now becoming more like normalized to talk about it and know about it. So I guess that's why I'm also like, there's no timeline, because people find out differently.
How is it in Zimbabwe? Is it like as open?
Well, so Zim is a very like conservative country. So and it's very like religious and stuff.
Yeah.
So obviously like talking about like LGBTQ plus discussions are not like not up for discussion because of
Can
like
you get married there?
no, it's illegal. So I think like I think you can be, well, at your own discretion, but you can be like gay, but you just can't be like public about it, and you can't get married. So I think gay marriage is illegal, but then other than that, you can do it. And I say at your own discretion, because if people find you, because it's very homophobic, like you could like something bad could happen to you in terms of like something violent, or just like people like discriminating against you. So that's the thing. And I think because of that like conservative aspect, we also don't talk about like sex and sexuality. So most of the time, like, I think you're just told for like in terms of sex, don't do it, which is like, okay, cool, but like how many times, for example, even with the child, you say don't do it and they're like about to like get it. So it's like it doesn't work. Or like they'll be like, don't do it because it brings babies, and it's like people then start resorting to like, you know, pull out methods, and it's like I feel like we need to be more teaching about like ways to like, you know, protect yourself, like using condoms, like talking about like plan Bs and all of that. So I think that's not there, but maybe in certain schools, like private schools or like group A schools, they do have those conversations because they're more like modern and they understand like what's in the world. So they'll tell you like, oh, contraceptive methods, because don't do it to a bunch of horny teenagers is not the most helpful. It's like, okay, thank you, but I'm still gonna, you know, find somewhere to do it.
We'll
so
find a loophole.
Yeah, literally. So I don't know.
So how was that coming to the Netherlands? Like, did you already hear about different sexualities? Like, was it in your upbringing ever like?
I mean, I already knew about like different sexualities and stuff before coming here. So it wasn't something new to me. I think the only difference here is it's like celebrated or
Yeah.
it's, allowed. So that's like nice. I'm always like, oh my gosh. I was just thinking of like certain people that I remember from back home who were like, closeted. And I was like, oh, this would be like great space for them. Like every time, like, especially with the like, Pride Carnival and stuff. And I'm like, so and so would love this. But then, like, they can't really. So I think in terms of if you're back home and questioning, then this is a nice place to come because, like, you are celebrated and you can ask like, if you're lost, you can be found. Whereas in Zim, if you're lost, don't even look for help to be found. Just, it's like there's no opportunity for that. So I think for me, I liked how open it is and how like, more liberal it is for people to like express their views or like to be able to just express themselves openly without having to hide and stuff. Because I feel like it's like you don't see someone with a certain appearance here and just make fun of them, whereas back home anything can be considered like gay. Like, imagine if
What are you gay?
literally like anything can be considered like here it's like that's who you are, but back home it's an insult, it's a slur. Like, you literally will be like, yeah, oh, that's gay. Like, let's say someone wears, I don't know, pink shoes, oh, that's gay. And it's like, pink is a nice color, okay? So it's just those things, but I don't know.
Okay, so let's go back to what you like. What are you looking for if you're dating, like, here in the Netherlands, let's say?
I don't even want to date.
Are you dating here? Are you dating here in the Netherlands?
I think I've gone on. No, I went on dates like twice, but all of them were not for myself. Like, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it for you, so that you'll be like, you experience me. Good for you, right? Because it was never like.
So they asked you.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, and not in a I couldn't say no. I can't say no, but I was just like, you know what? This is good for you. This is a learning moment for you, not for me.
No.
So I was like, I'll just go. You'll see how amazing I am. But then, you have a story to tell your friends. I'm going to be like,
do it for the plot.
Yeah, so literally your main character story is developing and I'm just there like. But sorry, what was the question?
If you date, and what are you looking for if you're dating?
What am I looking for if I'm dating?
So you haven't gone on good dates, but like,
yeah,
for
one
whom
of them
would
is
you
here.
go on a date?
Unfortunately, Chris Evans is married. Which is so sad.
Okay, so
and I'll never find him in the Netherlands.
What is it in Chris Evans that you
I think probably someone who's like, who has a sense of humor. So you don't have to be funny, but like you can laugh.
Yeah.
Someone who's very respectful. So doesn't discriminate on like gender, sexuality, race, and that. So I think that's very important. Someone who's educated, as much as I'm like, we all start somewhere. Hey, I need someone with a brain. What else? Someone who dresses nicely, of course. Someone, because this is an ick of mine, please. I don't.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, what are your icks?
If you carry a basic fit backpack,
oh my god, I so agree.
I can't. I'm like, why? As a grown person, you should not be carrying a backpack. I mean, sometimes it's allowed. Sometimes
backpacks are okay.
Sometimes it's okay, but like, it's the people who put it like so up. You know how you can fasten the straps and it's like up here, and I'm like, lower it or just wear it on one shoulder. Why are you wearing it like a school child? It's okay. So that's one of my icks.
I do not agree with the shoulder thing.
No,
It's like you got 2 shoulders. Why do you
Yeah,
have to
but
carry on
like,
one?
okay,
Just get a
for
shoulder
certain
bag.
places, I'm like, it's okay. Like, let's say you're traveling, you're going to the airport, then yes, you have a lot of things in the backpack, then put it. But if it's like a tiny backpack where it's just your laptop, you can put on one shoulder. Okay, you must be strong. So
Welcome to the
your future partner, be strong.
podcast.
Someone
Okay.
who dresses well, clean as well.
Yeah, this is not Icks anymore. This is what you're looking for.
Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Oh no, not Icks.
Just
Someone
clarify.
who's clean, and I don't know what other things, but I feel like, other things end up coming out later. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you also go on dates when you were still in Zimbabwe?
No.
No.
I can't call it dating, please. I was young.
Yeah.
I did what I did, but I was young. But I guess for the episode, yes, let's call them dates.
How was that?
It was fine.
Was it the same you were looking for then as you were looking for now?
Probably, but I think also in Zim, because I don't know, I was in high school, so there was also the status to it, because like we have different schools, so like there's the private schools and then the government schools, which are like government schools, so like usually private schools are like higher and stuff, and then the private school kids just hang around private school kids basically. So obviously I think, even though I don't want to say it, status played a role. So obviously I was always looking for someone who also went to a private school and was probably available. I think being able, when I turned 16, you had to drive because, yeah, it's weird saying, oh, do you want to go out? And then your mom picks us up. I'm sorry, like, no. And because we don't have like functioning public transport, it's not like we can be like, oh, we'll just catch a bus.
Or just ride a bike?
Yeah, I can't even ride a bike. So yeah.
Really? You've been living here for 2 years?
I know. That's also another thing. If anyone wants to date me here, please have a license and a car. Because I can't. We can do the bus, but a car is also nice. So yeah, I think that played into it. And then probably silly other things like, should be buying each other gifts. I am a gift receiver, not a giver, but receiver. So that's a thing as well.
Is that your love language?
I think my love language is quality time and physical touch. But I feel like if there's quality time, there's no way you're not touching me. Okay, that sounds weird. But like there's no way, like there's no like, physical touch. So I think so. But like gift receiving is definitely a close second.
All right.
Yeah. Not giving, by the way, just to be clear.
I was gonna ask the question, how do you approach dating? Is it with your heart or your head? But all of the things you've given, I'm pretty sure the answer is head.
My head, definitely. My head. Don't listen to this. Wait, lift. Yeah, don't listen to this. No, I will listen to my heart. Like, I know this quote that says, follow your heart, but take your brain with you. And that is so true. Because the heart will make you like douchebags. The heart will have you wearing rose-colored lenses and miss all the red flags. So I think I really do.
The head will give you people with status, but not with love.
At this point, guys, is love real? How many people are in love and they've been cheated on, lied to? So, guys, now I just sound like a sad person. No, but like,
Have you ever had a broken heart?
yes, but like, I'm a gangster, so we just, move on. Exactly. So, I think
Exactly was to the answer. Keep it gangster. Yeah.
Yeah, I think because I've also had friends who've been in a lot of relationships, I tend to learn from people's mistakes. I'm definitely not that person who's like, oh, I'm going to make my own mistakes. I'm like, if my friend has done it, it didn't work, I can learn from her. Or like, I don't know, a family person, a relative, or someone I know from like a distance, then I'm like, I'm gonna listen to them. If this happened, I know not to cross that path, because why should I waste my time making my own mistakes? No. So that's why I take my brain with me.
Yeah, sure. I think
I think
we
you
approach
disagree.
this so differently. Yeah, but that's okay. I always go full on hard first. And
But I think you're very like optimistic. I'm not. That's why I'm like,
I am very optimistic,
yeah.
yes. Yeah.
But why do you go in with your heart though?
Um I don't know. I love loving. I might be a little bit addicted. But it's so great to be in love with someone. And I can literally fall in love with anyone. It's also, I'm polyamorous. I love everyone. That's basically what it means. I'm queer. I love everyone. And so it's nice to love someone. And I do think a little bit about it. Like, but I've had quite some people where my head was like, what the fuck am I doing with this person? But my heart was like, I'm so fucking attracted to you. And then I still go into a relationship with them. And then like months later, my head,
it's like, nah, girl, wake up.
yeah.
Oh, wow. I think love is beautiful. I love love from a distance though. Like from there, good.
In the movies.
Exactly. In the movies, other people's stories for people who've made it, I think it's beautiful, but like from a distance. So, well, but do you have any like regrets from when you've like followed your heart instead of like your head?
I have learned from it, but
Okay.
I don't think I actually learned from watching people fail. I think I would have to try it out myself. But so that one person where my head and my heart were not in the same line, I've learned from that. And now if there is something that my head is like, I'm gonna really think about it. But most likely I'm still gonna follow it because I like the feeling.
Okay, let's just see. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You haven't really been dating with people, so can I assume that you haven't had sex yet? Yes. And then when it comes to dating, does the expectation of sex, or that maybe the other person expects sex, does that play a role? And like, how do you deal with that?
Well, gladly the dates have never gone that far to have the conversation, because I think it'll probably be an awkward conversation, because I feel like a lot of people are not celibate, so like they want to have sex and stuff. So I think it would probably be awkward, but like I don't love them, but like I think I'm okay with just having the conversation. Like, so listen, I mean, I don't think you're the person to, get in my pants. But the problem is, I always say this to myself, like, if it's not Chris Evans, I don't want it. And I'm never going to find a Chris Evans, so. But I think it's probably nerve-wracking to be like, okay, so here's the deal, da-da-da-da. But I feel like depending on, like, if you really like the person, because if it's, like, just casual and you're, like, first date, 2, 3, then no. But, like, I think once you know, then you will have that conversation, or I don't know, there will be a moment where like you do discuss that, and I don't know when, but like if that moment doesn't come up, I'll probably be like, so listen, buddy, here's the thing. But I think I need to do it before I also like fall in badly, just in case like that's a no-go area for that person, and then it's like, because I don't want to also like keep someone in something that they don't want when they have like other expectations or desires that they would want someone to help them with. So
yeah. Would you date someone that has had a lot of sex?
It depends. Like, obviously, if they're an addict, then I can't help you.
Yeah.
But like, I don't really mind, I think. Because if me and that person eventually do have like sex, I'm sure the thought will come across my mind that like, oh, they've probably been with a lot of people, and like, I'm just, an amateur. So, but again, I think it's worth communicating those feelings and then saying, this is how I feel about it. But I don't think it's necessarily a train smash. Like, it's not really a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as long as they're not always boasting about it, as long as they're not like, yeah, I was, up here fucking ABC, like, then it's okay. I think so.
Yeah.
I wonder if those people who've had like, many partners would be interested in someone who's had little or none
Yeah.
partners. I'll let you guys know when you know.
Yeah, but I think it would also be difficult, or like at least because that's the question that I asked before. Like the expectation of someone wanting sex. I think if you're dating someone that has had a lot of sex, that expectation must be really high, maybe, and that might be awkward.
True.
But yeah, like you said, if you can just communicate about it, then
True.
yeah.
But you know what? Some people do like little competitions and they amaze people with the skills they have, even though they're like novice at what they're doing. So you don't know.
Yeah. I once dated someone that never had sex and also like wanted to wait, and it was so hard because I did have the expectation. I was like, a lot of times I have sex on the first date, and now I was dating someone
On
that
the first date? What if this person's an ex-murderer and
well, I do have one rule, and that's that you can't tie me up on the first date. Because, like,
Okay.
what if they're a murderer?
it's fine. It's fine. Like,
The rest.
don't tie me up, but you might have a knife under your bed that you can stab me with. But at least my hands weren't tied.
Yeah. At least I can run.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Do you see sex as a product of a relationship, or can it stand on its own? Do you understand the question?
Yeah. I think because I know so many people have done it, I think can it stand on its own? Yes. Does it mean it's good that it's standing on its own? I don't know, because I believe in like soul ties.
Oh.
So I feel like once like people, not for everyone, I mean some people can have soul ties with like the second person they've had sex with, but I think it does play a role into it. So I wouldn't really like, advocate for like casual like sex, but I think in a relationship, then yeah, it helps build, well, for the people who want it, then yeah, I think it plays a role.
What do you mean exactly with soul ties?
Okay, soul ties are like deep spiritual connections between two people. Maybe they can be for more people, I don't know. But like between two or more people, and sometimes they can be very like uplifting and like, strengthen like the relationship between those people. But sometimes they can be toxic and very destructive to you as a person. So I think that's why I genuinely don't believe in just maybe the
And-
casualness. But I also
And
think
that connection starts when you have sex with someone?
I don't think it starts when you have like, I actually don't know, but I think it depends. Like sometimes I've heard of people who've, again, see, hearing things and not experiencing, sometimes a bad thing. But I've heard from people that like it can be instant, but sometimes it can take longer. It might not attach from the first person. But I also think it has to do with, I like to say I'm not I'm not superstitious, but somewhat superstitious. So like, because of like being African and believing like spirits and stuff. So I think sometimes that's why I'm like, you just don't want everyone. And maybe that's why I'm against the casualness, because I don't know the person yet. Like, you just know what they've presented, right?
And you don't know if they have an STD.
Again, you don't know if they have an STD. Some people, I don't know for what reason, but like some people maybe won't disclose those things. Also, you don't know what bad omens they're just carrying around as a person. So that's why I'm against, sex on the first date, because all I know is your Instagram profile and yourself and how you've presented yourself in that moment. But I also think that even if I know you for longer, I can still be like, blind to like the other bad things that you do, and then now I'm in this bond with you, and like it's not making me a better person. So that's why I'm against soul ties. I mean, against jiggy sex on the first day. Sorry, I used to call sex jiggy. Yeah, it was a very long period in my life where I don't know why. I actually do not know why.
Jiggy, I like it. We should call our podcast Jiggy. Yeah. Okay, so normally we ask our guests about the last time they had sex, but that doesn't work.
Let me tell you about it.
So, can you tell us what you expect it to be like? Do you think about it?
No. I think that's also because, like, for me, I'm always also like, what's wrong with me? Because, like, compared to my peers, I think they think about sex more than, have you ever thought about it? But I think I'll probably laugh, because I'm going to think about how I'm going to tell my friends, like, when it happens. So I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, this happened. And
I used literally,
and I used to do this thing where, like, if my parents were shouting at me, I would already be laughing, because I'm like, I'm going to go to school and I'm going to tell my friends how they were shouting at me. And I'm a very vivid storyteller. So I tell you everything with like descriptions. I put like actions to it. So I'll probably laugh and sound effects. So I'll be like, I'll probably laugh and then have to explain that, no, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at how it's going to be. I think it's probably, because I've, again, from listening to other people's experiences and stuff, I think I'll probably, like, tell myself, like, calm down. It's okay. Like, it's not supposed to go well, because I've heard majority of people's first times are, like, disastrous. Yeah. So I think, let's just, have that shared trauma as individuals. So I'm not going to be fussy about it, I think. Hopefully I'll be able to play my playlist. So
right, you have a playlist. I remember that.
So yeah, I think that's all. I'm not expecting anything extravagant. I'm not like, roses on the bed, candles lit. No. I'll have socks on, because a lot of people have said they don't have it with socks on, which I find so weird. I can't believe I'm saying this on camera, actually, now that I think about it.
Actually, I have heard that socks on will actually, it's better for climaxing, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you.
So
I'll keep my socks on.
Yeah. But it might not be true,
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know, but if that's the case,
yeah.
I mean, I can do it again if, like, the socks on doesn't work. Just round 2. So, probably, yeah. I don't have really like grand expectations. Did you have expectations? Maybe let me.
No, well, it's fun because I always prepare the podcast with Lorenzo, and we talked about this, and so for a long time I thought I was asexual because I wasn't thinking about sex at all, and when I started dating I still wasn't thinking about sex, and then at some point I was dating someone. There was like the second date, and we had sex, and it was just sex, and I still wasn't thinking about it. And so we then got into a relationship, and only later I actually started thinking about sex, if that makes sense. And I started masturbating and watching porn. And so I didn't have expectations for sex because I still wasn't thinking about it. I also don't remember how I experienced this because I wasn't thinking about it.
Okay.
So.
And now when you like meet people, do you still have like certain like...
Yeah.
How do you think it's going to be when you meet someone? Because you already have experience.
Because if I see, like if I'm going on a date with someone, then I judge them on their dating profile, and I will make up based on the dating profile how the sex is going to be, and I will fantasize about it before. So I can have, it's like a little pre-party before the date. And then if it sucks, at least I had a nice pre-party.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So sometimes the fantasy is better than the actual date.
Okay, after this, I'm going to give you a profile. And I want you to tell me, what you think.
Yeah. So, yeah. Now I have high expectations, maybe. But I'm also easily entertained.
So you don't have to do much. They don't have to be, doing cartwheels. Just...
No, probably not. But that would be fun. They could try that.
Have you done the BDSM test?
Yeah.
You should do that.
course.
Oh, you've done... Okay, never mind.
Have you?
Yeah. Just to see the questions. Because I already knew the answer.
Do you remember any of the answers? Like...
I remember the questions. No, the questions were terrible. I was like...
You did
what?
Because there's like a quick version.
No, I did. I think the long one, the one that had questions like, "Oh, I want to be, tied and fed from like, the animal balls, and put in a cage." I said, "What?" Like something about. Why are you tying me? Like it's giving.
It's giving.
What it's giving is very sad. I'm like, my ancestors would not be happy to see me in chains. Okay, so no.
Well, to be honest, all kinks are based on trauma, so it would make sense. Have you tried?
I'm not doing that. Even like should I say this? Okay,
Go for it.
I have my parents don't watch this, but like even like the fact of like people get aroused by being choked. I laugh. Like, what are you doing? Like, how do you think this is turning you on? Like, I remember someone did, and I just laughed. I said, and I laughed out loud because I was like, "Are you stupid?" First of all, secondly, I was thinking of how I'm gonna tell my friends the story, but I was like, how is this hard? Like, obviously they weren't like suffocating me, but still, I was like, get your hands off me. So no. I can't, guys. I'm just, traditional.
That's totally fine, Find what turns you on.
But maybe, you also need to, like, experience.
You
Don't knock it till you try it. Yeah. I'm knocking it, though. But, yeah.
Don't choke it until you try it. Okay, let's continue to the last part, which is the rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So you can just say, I don't want to answer, or, how often do you think of sex?
Well, on a scale of what? Okay, if it's 1 to 10, then...
Like this month.
Today, I mean yesterday and today when we were talking about the podcast.
Yeah, okay. Do you masturbate? Okay.
No.
Do you think you are ready for a relationship?
No, I don't have time for it. I'm a busy woman.
The lack of amount of sex that someone has defines someone's worth. Would you agree?
No. Because I think people tend to put like sex on a pedestal, and it's like, guys, there is more to that person besides how many people they fucked or have not fucked.
Yeah, true. What influences more in your choice of a partner?
Money. Sorry, continue.
I'm gonna give you 3 options, but I had culture, religion, or sexual experiences.
Probably culture and religion. But like, yeah, culture first for sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
We already talked about this, but name 3 icks you have in men.
Icks. No, that's a red flag. Icks.
Yeah, let's talk about red flags. We talked about icks.
Because icks, I can still like you despite them. Red flags, I'm not even going to touch you.
What are red flags?
If you've ever had a podcast in your life, I can't.
You have a podcast.
I'm a woman. Okay? We're talking about men. Or are we talking about people in general? I mean, but like, red flag. If you don't just, if you disrespect people, so like based on sex, gender, and race. Another red flag would be, if like you're those like macho man who want like a woman to like serve them, not to be by their side, but serve them. Again,
yeah, you're too busy for that.
I'm too busy for that. Why am I serving you? Yeah. Got 2 hands. Well, hopefully, if you do have like 2 hands, you can help yourself.
For me, masturbation is a tool to relieve stress. How do you relieve stress?
I sleep. I sleep.
That's nice, yeah.
But I also don't think I relieve my stress. I probably just, bottle it and put it aside. So
until it gets too big and you have to go to therapy.
Exactly.
Do you see yourself getting married?
No. But I do want the wedding though.
Ooh.
So
Did you already plan your wedding?
Yes, I have planned it. I already know who's gonna be. Well, I know the guy who's gonna plan my like rehearsal dinner and stuff.
Okay.
So I want the party, like the ceremony, the reception of the wedding. So like, even if I don't ever like have a partner, I can still have the party. So it'll be my birthday party and I'll be in a white gown and,
And you'll have
food,
a rehearsal
drinks,
dinner for
and I'll have my
birthday.
rehearsal dinner for my birthday where everyone can say their speeches, because the reception is just where we're going to get turned up. Okay.
Nice.
So yeah, but like I don't intend on getting married because, it might change in the future, but it's not in like my any year's plan. So
Sure,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. This was it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for thank you for coming.
Yeah. Let's get out of bed. Thank you for listening and watching. This was How Was It? The podcast about sex and sexualities. This was Nicole. Still is Nicole. But this was her episode. We now had 6 episodes, which means we will have enough people for the orgy. So come back next time and you'll hear all about it. Also don't forget to follow us on Instagram. It's how_was_it_podcast and slide in our DMs and ask me to take your virginity. Bye.